DinoPod.
Hello, and welcome to DinoPod. Today, we're going to talk about podcasts that me and Mitchell like. Because again, it's just me and Mitchell. Tim is
fucking
still...
ditched again.
Well, of course not. Tim's been kidnapped by Welsh people that think that he doesn't like Swansea anymore.
He's currently on a bridge above a motorway with loads of Brexit signs.
Is currently watching a Swansea game. And they're losing. Because Swansea sucks.
Hey, I take offence to that.
Why?
Swansea's in Wales. Wales is nice.
Nobody cares about Wales.
In the summer, when it's nice and warm.
Nobody cares about Wales. Let's be honest.
Shut up.
It's the truth.
If anyone is listening from outside the UK, what is Wales?
Exactly.
You won't be able to tell me. And if you do, it's only because you've watched Doctor Who once.
Maybe, not even that. They could have skipped that episode. Because it had Wales on it, and they're like, what is this now?
You can tell that Rita hasn't watched any of the modern series of Doctor Who.
I have not, no.
Because if she did, she would know that the whole modern series up to the shit Jodie Whittaker era, it's all been...
Why is it shit? Is she a bad actress?
It's fucking terrible.
Is it writing?
Bad writing. Terrible chemistry with the cast.
Okay.
And the characters were done and are done really shit. And plus she's a bad actress.
Sounds about right.
What's the word?
Sucks.
It's just all... No, it's not that. It's just everything... Do you know that everything should line up? If you say, what is the Doctor Who episode? And it hits everything.
Yeah.
But just falls flat. It just feels... I akin it to like... Do you know like the new Disney movies?
Remake.
It has everything that should have happened.
So it's basically Lion King, the remake.
Yeah, it has. Nothing's missing.
That's not... Well,
most of the stuff isn't missing, but then it doesn't feel like it has anything.
Yeah.
So that's...
Does it also follow a piece of shit through the jungle? Or the savannah?
No.
People who've seen The Lion King 2019 will know what I'm talking about. Which
Spoilers.
is like the worst scene of all fucking time. I do not need to know how a piece of hair, like Simba's hair, fell out and some animal ate it and then shit it out and then a beetle comes around and rolls it around and then flies again. I don't know. It's gross and disgusting and
you know
I hate
exactly how that board meeting went. It was, guys, I got a really good idea.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that would look beautiful. What's it about?
A piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Literally a piece of shit.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Not only that, they ruined Be Prepared.
Anyway,
which is like the greatest...
This is not the Disney podcast.
Is it? No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Or is it?
Or is it? It's not.
It really isn't. Because if we did, Tim wouldn't even have an idea of what we're talking about. Anyway.
What is Disney? What is life?
Life is going out and buying yourself a foldable chair that's taken you 2 hours to find.
I'm sorry that I only had one chair. I live in a tiny flat.
You have one chair.
Yes. And that's all the chair that I need.
And if you hear any noise in the background, it's because...
Apparently they're doing construction around here.
And...
I don't know why.
Rita doesn't want to do a...
Don't know what for.
A soundproof killer room, so...
Where would I put the soundproof killer room? I don't have any space. That's the problem.
How do you stop murderers? Give them a small room.
Exactly.
They can't have any space then to work with. What are you doing?
Exactly.
So, this week we're talking. That's kind of ties into what we're talking about, which is podcasts, because half the podcasts I listen to are crime.
Yes, that's true.
I just saw on Rita's face. I was like, I get it now. So, this week we are talking about podcasts in just the genre itself and the whole medium of podcasts.
Which, by the way, it's radio.
It's not radio.
It's radio tailored to specific groups of people.
It's not radio.
It is. You listen to it.
Yep.
And there's no image. Sometimes. We can also do that with radio.
Sometimes. Our podcasts always come with fucking images. There's only one, but it comes with images.
Well, yeah, but like... Okay. If they're listening to this, can you... Didn't you do YouTube app? Does it work if you blocked your... Not block. Lock your iPhone?
You do.
Because it would stop.
You do, but you have to pay for YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Because this podcast soon will be going on to a podcast app because YouTube's a bit annoying to work with. So, yeah, as in...
Yeah, we'll fix that.
We'll fix that.
Sometime in the future.
You sound really confident. You mean Mitchell will fix this soon?
Sometime in the future.
Thank you. More work for me.
I'll do it.
Will you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Don't believe you. Right.
Well, I feel betrayed and offended and
Can you do
attacked.
Can you do all my work for me so I don't have to do it?
Sure.
Yeah. And then I can take credit for it.
Yes.
Nice.
Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, that is how life works. Get someone else to do it for you and you take the credit.
Yeah.
So, what got you into podcasts or listening to podcasts?
I like podcasts. No. I just needed something to listen.
So Rita, many years ago, just for...
Not many. I haven't started listening to podcasts that long ago.
So Rita, some time ago...
Yeah.
Woke up one day, said, I like podcasts, I listen.
Yes. That was it. Exactly it. No, I was
I don't
tired
want to call
of
you a
listening
liar,
to
but
music.
that sounds a bit spooky.
I was tired of listening to music on the train or on like long trips somewhere, so I just switched to podcasts.
So give me some background. Let's have story time. Let's have you...
Story time.
Story time.
So I had to take a train, but I didn't feel...
Before that, I want a full-on story time with Rita. Go.
I had to go to London. And to do
More story time. Why did you have to go to London?
Okay, I was doing a runner job in London.
For who?
For Ultimate Football Fan.
Okay.
Blood Brothers. It's coming out soon. Check it out on YouTube. Ultimate Football Fan. Or AFTV. Sometime near the future. Probably next month.
If it doesn't get shelved.
It won't. It's not going to. You might even see me there, because sometimes I'm in front of camera and I don't notice. I'm sorry.
Are you sorry?
No. But, yeah, so I had to go film in London, and I didn't feel like listening to the music on a train, so I thought I'd just listen to a podcast. That might be fun. And it was fun.
So...
And before that, sometimes I listened when I was, like, going grocery shopping.
I was going to say, so...
Walking around.
On the train, you just had a fluke idea of thinking, fuck music, I want to listen to Joe Rogan and talk about bullshit.
No. It's just I don't feel like listening to music today. Let's put something different. Not a podcast. Although I do see some of, like, Joe Rogan's highlights sometimes. On this podcast. And I saw all of it, his one with Edward Snowden. And some other guy, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. And with Leah Remini, which she did one. She was used to be a Scientologist, and she left, and I think that's really interesting.
Do you know the best one, and you haven't named it? Have you seen the one with Elon Musk?
No, I have not.
The guys...
The
guy turns up, and they have a chat about cars, they spark up some weed, and then just chill. It's so good.
No, I haven't. I don't get the hype around Elon Musk.
In Elon Musk, we trust. Remember.
Okay then.
with Elon Musk, it's a whole Apple type ordeal with him, which is...
He hates Apple? Does he like Apple? He hates it.
No, I'm saying about the brand. Like, Apple would make a product, and then Steve Jobs would come out, and then everyone would be like, Lord and Savior, Steve Jobs. And now, now Elon comes out with a fucking truck that looks like a 5-year-old drew it, and there's $1.69 billion worth of pre-orders already.
For the new truck?
Yes.
It's hideous.
People will buy it because Elon Musk made it or designed it.
More like Tesla. Didn't they fire him?
Yes, but that. See, I told you this is becoming more Steve Jobsy, as in Steve Jobs got fired from his own place, and then came.
When?
Back. Steve Jobs did.
It was like early in the thing, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, but Tesla isn't that new. Sorry, isn't
no,
that
but
old?
it was like before Apple went overlord, buy all of our stuff and all of our stuff. No?
No, well, you had like the Apple II that came out, and that was one of the best-selling computers of all time. Okay. So Apple was massive.
Yeah.
And they kept making stuff, and nothing stuck. Then Steve employed someone to come in.
Yeah.
I think it was from Pepsi or Coke, and then he took over and said, Steve, you're shit, mate. Jog on.
Yeah.
And it was many years until he came back, and then he...
With the iTunes thing, right? Was that... No.
With the...
To sell iTunes or whatever. Wasn't that when he made his big comeback?
He came back, and then he came back with the translucent iMac.
Okay.
Which was... Do you know which one I'm on about? With the massive iMac that you can see through.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with that.
Yeah.
And then he came up with the iPod.
Yeah.
Then iTunes to go with that. And then the iPhone and so on and so on. So
yeah.
So yeah, Elon Musk literally is our new Steve Jobs.
Well, I don't think he's as...
He's not as...
charismatic. Impressive.
Yeah, no...
it's also crazier. Like, more...
Elon Musk is not
I want to go to Mars on the Tesla.
I mean, he will do.
No.
I believe him.
No. It's not just somebody that goes to space. Astronauts don't like wake up one day, I'm going to space, and next week they're flying out. It takes years of like training.
Yeah, but Elon Musk also actually implements a lot of his plans, which is why I like him. Because have you seen the? He calls a company the boring company. Have you seen it?
No.
So he makes tunnels. So at the moment in LA, he's built a tunnel for a long stretch that is underground, and all you do is you bring your Tesla, and it has bumpers either side and just bolts down at full speed, and it will clear all of LA in a quarter of like a tenth of the time it takes now.
Okay. And
so to do that, he made another company called the Boring Company, as in, do you know, like people that bore underground?
Yeah.
He's called it Boring, as in and then he went and sold a flamethrower. But legally, he released it as it's not a flamethrower, and then put $10 in every single person's pack and said, "Go buy gas because we can't sell it to you."
I mean,
it sold for $500, and I wanted one so badly.
Why do you want a flamethrower?
No, he made it, and it's memes. Memes. He lives by memes.
Sure.
How the fuck are we? Okay. So yeah, Elon Musk on a podcast was amazing.
Okay, I didn't see that one. I might see it.
Yeah, it's really good. So you've got Rita on a train. She's listening to a podcast.
Yes.
What podcast did little Rita sit and hopefully get signal to listen to?
I listened to Inside the Disney Vault, which is all about Disney.
Right.
Yes.
Go on.
So they review. They talk about all of the animated Disney movies, starting with Snow White. till the ones released today. They haven't got Frozen 2 yet.
So they haven't gone back to before Snow White with all the...
Those aren't movies, they're shorts.
Yeah, have they not reviewed those?
Or are they gonna? Maybe. I haven't listened to all of it, so they might have gotten to some of those.
Like Steamboat Willie, for example. That's really good.
It is good, but I don't think so. Maybe I haven't listened to all of it.
So, where did you start? Did you start at the very top, or did you work your way from the bottom to top? Or
no, I started with Snow White, and then I went down, and then I pick and choose whatever I want to listen.
And do you notice, like, whenever you listen to a podcast, if you start, a lot of people, including me, make the mistake. I start at the top, and then I listen to a few podcasts, and I go back to the beginning, and I realise, okay, the beginning is pretty shit.
Yeah.
Because I've re-listened to the top, so I make it a thing.
Wait, no.
Where I always listen to the first.
I
always try to listen to the beginning.
No, yeah, I listened to the first one first.
So that's where you first listen to your podcasts.
Yeah.
Or, well, you listen to a handful beforehand, but not very regularly. For me, I listened to podcasts, 10, 15 years ago. So before they became mainstream.
Yeah, I didn't know podcasts existed 10, 15 years ago. Also, because that would be radio. Podcasts are like derivative of radio. Yes.
So the very first podcast I personally listened to was called the Ken Burton Show.
Okay.
You honestly, no one is going to know any of these podcasts.
I believe you.
So Ken Burton Show was, I did listen one or two before then, but this is the one I got into. There was a YouTube channel called Ken Burton, who was a 40, like late 40s gamer.
Yeah.
Dad gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Who was shit at playing games.
Sounds
absolutely fucking terrible. And essentially, his whole thing was he played games like most other people who are just shit at games.
Okay.
And it was just entertaining to watch him because he'd play like Call of Duty, and it would be amazing if he'd got like a 3 kill streak, 5 kill streak, and he would go on to do like tutorials and things. And then he started doing more real life stuff.
So vlogs? No,
not that. It's more talking about his real life.
So vlogs?
No, it's not him vlogging. It's just him telling stories.
Fine, okay. It's not vlogs.
So he did, when he did his live streams, sometimes he would talk about things in the past, and then people wanted him to make a podcast. So there's a podcast, he made a podcast called The Ken Burton Show that would upload every week, talking about his life. With the catch, some are real.
Some are fake.
Yeah. And the reason he's done that is because some of them he came out to say were real could incriminate him.
Okay.
And some of them are just so...
Did he kill somebody?
No. And some of them are like really obtuse. Like one of them, he went abroad with his mates, and he talked about getting into a steam room with a bunch of guys, and it all got really awkward because the kid walked in. And then that kid kind of kept coming over to one of the guys and started like chatting with him, and they all took the piss out of him as being a kiddie toucher the rest of the holiday. Just
sure,
so far the fact that they got banned from the swimming pool, and they couldn't be in the same room as him.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was one of my first podcasts, and I listened to that for years. A lot of the stories I can't listen to anymore because he uploaded it on his own website, and then he could only upload a certain amount, so he would just kind of wipe, and just keep changing them. So that was the very first podcast I got into because I some of the stories are fucking mental, and then after that I I ended up getting a paper round because this is me really young. This I was like 13. When I got a paper round, I was like, right, I need to listen to something. And at the time, I had what was it? I think it was a HT Wildfire or something, like a really shit Android phone, and I didn't have a lot of data on it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't necessarily go on Spotify because it used all my data.
Oh, Spotify didn't exist 10 years ago.
So
that would have been hard. That would have been an achievement.
But I couldn't stream music.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of storage on there.
Yeah. So
I was like, right, I need something to listen to for an hour and a half, 2 hours. That isn't music that's going to wipe all my data off or downloading. And it takes a while to build up a good playlist. So I thought, okay, I remember that Ken Burton thing. So he then started uploading them to your phone. To download. So I did that, and then when I started getting more into thinking, there must be other things like this, and I'm a World of Warcraft player. So
gross.
Yeah, it's the best game of all time.
Excuse me?
It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
I then started looking into more things to listen to. So I came across, I think, which one was it first? Was it Convert to Raid? No, it wasn't Convert to Raid. I think it was called The Instance. So it's a weekly podcast about World of Warcraft.
Boring.
And it was awesome. I loved it. You have I don't know what it is. It's like it's an older guy playing World of Warcraft for years who's not very good at it. I think you're sensing a pattern here.
So you like to watch people or listen to people
that
are worse than you.
Yeah.
At games.
Yeah. I think that feeds into my
ego,
yeah. So yeah, so I started listening to The Instance. And then I started listening to more podcasts until I end up with like 9 podcasts that I'd be listening to. So I'd take a trip into my town centre just to listen to podcasts. I cannot sit at home and listen to podcasts at all.
No, you have to be like traveling, like either train or a bus somewhere, or like going outside, like grocery shopping, or just walking around to do it.
So during the summer, I'd often just walk into the town, even though I had no money on me, maybe buy an energy drink, then walk home, and then just to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into podcasts, really. So, and it's been adding more and more and more on each time. So where I can go on my phone and be like, right, out of this like 15 podcasts, what do I want to listen to?
Yeah.
Annoyingly, over time, some people have stopped doing their podcasts. Like, which pod? Oh, I can't remember. Ken Burton stopped doing his. What was it? Control-Alt-Wow stopped doing theirs. But yeah, podcasts you have to make them every week, so some people stop doing it.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into...
We're never going to stop doing this. Ever. We're going to be 152 dead and still doing it.
No. According to Crazy Greta, we're going to be dead by the age of like 40s by global warming. So.
Probably. But we'll still be doing it. We'll be like underneath the sea, or like around toxic waste from Armageddon.
Or Boris is going to put you on a bus and just goodbye.
Ship me off.
And then I'll have no internet because Brexit means Brexit.
I'll be deported. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So you'll get deported.
I'll get deported.
And then the internet will become the Brexit net. So only countries that have voted Brexit get the internet.
Yeah. And then the internet will be deported because it's foreign. It's not British.
Every time you click on a website, it'll say, right, pay import tax. Do you want to connect to Italy? £5, please. It won't happen, but Brexit's a good idea.
How dare you?
I'm just telling you the truth. So,
Wow.
what other podcasts do you
just
listen
want me to be deported. Is that how it is?
I mean...
You just hate Portuguese people.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth.
Yeah,
you just hate Portuguese people.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought you were my friend.
Should we do a Brexit podcast?
No. No.
I'll have to...
Not gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
If we do, I'll have to have... We've got to make sure Tim's here, so that's why it will never happen.
Yeah. Because Tim has been abducted by aliens.
No,
loves Swansea.
Tim's been deported to Wales.
Tim's been deported to Wales, yeah.
And then they voted Brexit, so they'll kick him out for being English.
Exactly.
So what other podcasts do you listen to?
I sometimes listen to those conspiracy guys.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, although they don't upload weekly, do they? I feel like they don't.
They're supposed to.
But they don't.
Yeah.
So, although I mainly listen to them when they talk about true crime more than conspiracies like 9/11, and they did vaccines also, anti-vax, and some other stuff.
Going into that, you know for a fact that's going to be bullshit, because anti-vaxxers are fucking crazy, and they're dumb as fuck.
Vaccines were made to kill us. That's why they eradicated diseases.
Those conspiracy guys are amazing, though. Like,
yes. They're Irish, aren't they? Or at least the main host is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the reason why they haven't been uploading as much is because I think they're planning on doing their trip to the US. So do you know how they've been saying they want to do...
Yeah, I've heard
10 movies in 10 months or whatever, and they're going to go out to America and do this amazing tour. I think that's what they've been planning, and that's why they haven't been uploading as much. Because their last podcast that they uploaded, that isn't for Patreon, because I know they do a lot of Patreon exclusives.
Right, we also need to get a Patreon.
Because
you love us, right?
The Btk Killer.
Yeah, I listened to that one.
On the 1st of November.
Yeah.
So
nearly a month ago.
Yeah.
A really interesting one.
And that's the thing, with podcasts, you don't tend to look into the people who do the podcast that much. It's just you listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like you watch a TV show and you can connect with the characters a lot easier, whereas with podcasts, I think I just connect with the story, not with the person telling the story.
I guess.
Because at the end of the day, you listen to a podcast to just kind of make sure you're not bored whilst you're filling your shopping trolley up.
I guess, yeah.
Which is fine. That's what I enjoy. So those conspiracy guys, like, why?
Because I like true crime, and I find the way they tell the story is interesting.
So you like true crime, or are you getting ideas?
To do crimes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the only reason to it.
There's no reason why you should be listening to true crime unless you are an actual psychopath.
Yeah.
Whilst I currently have got like 10 podcasts about true crime on my phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of them are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What is it? The Toy Box Killer or whatever it was.
God. That one was hard to listen to. That one was, oh my god. I think that's like one of the worst serial killers that I've heard of. It's what the things that he did to women were so disgusting. Like, I was walking to Sainsbury's to go grocery shopping, and I was listening to it, and the guy just like came behind me, and I didn't notice. Like, I literally jumped while listening to it, and like the guy like apologized.
I got
like, Jesus, that never happened to me before. That one.
I was on my way home from work, and I was listening to a podcast. It was, who was it called? It's one of my many podcasts. Crime Junkie. So they're a female duo that do weekly podcasts about more obscure crimes in America.
Yeah. So
they were saying, they had the description from a CCTV camera of the supposed perpetrator.
Yeah.
They described the vehicle. It was a Jeep with big wheels, this, that, and the other. So they did full description. I walked round the fucking corner.
Yeah.
I I don't see Jeeps anywhere, yet there was one there in the dark with the lights on, just on the opposite side of the street. I got spooked as fuck. I crossed, and then I crossed again. I went straight, I was like, fuck this. And then, as soon as I got near it, it drove off round the corner, which I know is a dead end. So I'm like, okay, this is getting even worse. And then when they turned around, I was like,
is that Jack the Ripper?
I was like, no. When they turned around, they just nodded at me. I was like, okay.
That's weird.
I know it has nothing to do with I could be listening to something else.
Yeah. And it would be fine.
But just at that one moment in time.
Yeah.
I got spooked the fuck out. And I remember I came home because my brother also listened to similar podcasts as me. And I said to him, like, oh, listen to... he got me into Crime Junkie. So he told me about it. And so I started listening to it. And then I told him, oh, by the way, I listened to this episode. And this happened. And he went, I did the same. I was like, oh, yeah, fuck it. It's weird.
Yeah. It's like... It was during the day. It wasn't dark or anything. I was just walking towards Sainsbury's. And the guy just, like... It caught me off guard, like, seeing a person in the corner of my eyes.
Just walk across.
Wow. And, like, I just jumped, like...
Do you know the only thing about listening to those true crime podcasts? It's like 95% of them are like women getting killed. It's so
I mean,
creepy.
Most of serial killers are men. There is some women, like Aileen Wuornos, but most of them are men, and most of their victims are women. So yeah, it's great being a woman.
And not only that, I looked at the Crime Junkie podcast. They were saying that the majority of their listeners are female.
Yeah, I mean,
what is it about women and listening to crime podcasts? Because
there are some women that find serial killers sexy. Just look at Ted Bundy. He had like groupies following him, like whenever he went to court or whatever, to be there like supporting him and would send him like love letters. So there are some crazy people. So I guess some of them probably listen because.
What is it about true crime that attracts a woman so much?
I don't know. I find it interesting because like I don't even know because it's just horrible shit. I'm just listening to horrible shit, but I do find it interesting. But there are women that find it hot, I guess.
I mean,
which is kind of gross.
When I was watching, they did a meetup in their town, and there was like 2 guys out of like 300 women that turn up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, granted, there was 2 female presenters, great.
Yeah.
But surely, they were saying it's like 95% or like 90% of their listeners are female. I was like,
maybe it's just like keeping an eye on what to look out for. If a guy is injured, do not go near him.
Oh my god! They told a story the other week where they said her sister told them a story where there was an old guy in a car, apparently injured, who needed to get their phone out the boot.
Yeah, no, do not go near that.
And he couldn't get out the car. Yeah. And he looked like he tried to, and he couldn't do it. He looked like he couldn't do it, and so she went round the back, opened it, and opened the boot whilst the guy walked round. Yeah. And then the presenter, whose sister is telling a story, loses her shit. Like, I tell you not to do it. And what's the first thing you do? You go and fucking do it. And so she was like, yeah, it wasn't actually in the boot. And luckily, she didn't get abducted. I was like...
No, that's what Ted Bundy did. He would pretend like he broke his arm or something, and then women would come help him, and he would, like, abduct them. Like, do not help people. Do not help men near cars. Please. Just,
I think I'm going to take away...
or wait for, like, more people to come around.
I'm going to take one thing away. Don't help people. Rita, 2019. Fuck everyone.
Do not help men in the wrong cars. Or wait for another man to come around. Like, go help that guy. Look, It's just statistically, women are more likely to be attacked.
Yeah.
It's the truth. So, if the guy can have his phone for like an extra 10 minutes, fuck it. That's his problem. I'm going to see a movie.
And I think people who listen to podcasts are probably less likely to get abducted because we ain't fucking listening to anyone. We're just... The amount of times I put my headphones in and I can hear someone trying to talk to me, I'm out. I'm out of there. Yeah. And that's probably where AirPods go wrong because we can't see if someone's listening because you don't see a fucking cable going over you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
AirPods kill people.
AirPods kill people.
Tagline.
Yeah. AirPod Pro kills people.
Well, we talked about clickbait titles earlier.
Yeah, just put that. AirPods Pro kill people. And then a photo with somebody with an AirPod and then a red circle around the ear with the arrow pointing at it.
No, it needs to be that in the corner with someone with a coffin in the bottom left.
Yeah.
And then someone's face going, oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our logos. Actually, no, we don't put a logo in there. That's it. That's our clickbait done. So... The podcast you listen to, what do you find, like, how often do you listen to them?
Probably I don't know. At least once a week. I don't...
You're not me.
Two or 3 times a week when I go out for, like, a longer period of time. So it's not like just... walking to the cinema, which is like 5 minutes away from here. Even then, sometimes I listen to it while waiting for the movie to start. Very loud. So I don't even hear the ads.
So, when you say you only listen to when you go out, you mean you only go out once a week?
No, sometimes I listen to music instead. Like, I change it up sometimes.
Stop lying, you don't go out. Let's be real.
I don't go out. I've never gone out in my life. I've never left this flat. Ever.
That reminds me of a conspiracy episode about what's his face, the killer that like kept his daughter at like underground room. What's his name? They did a conspiracy guys episode about a guy who kept his daughters underground.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I haven't listened to that one.
Because I know for me, I listen to podcasts pretty much every single day.
No, it just depends what I feel like. Sometimes I just listen to music. Sometimes I don't listen to anything. But I don't listen to them a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to them more in the future.
Well, I mean... The whole reason why I tend to listen to podcasts quite often is just because when I'm... It's weird because I'm so fucking scatterbrained all day, every day. Like, I'm thinking about a million things at once. If I listen to music, it makes me too hyper for me. So I end up
You can listen to, like, sad music. Like, sad violin music.
Yeah, but that's... No. So I then listen to... if I listen to music, it'd be like my playlist. So, but I don't want to listen to... It's weird because I like listening to it.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to get myself too hyper all the time. So I will listen to podcasts just because they are always It's mellow, it's good to listen to, and it's informative. That's why I like listening to podcasts all the time. And so for me, on my Spotify, I've got some of the podcasts I listen to aren't even on Spotify, but they're on my older phone, so I haven't transferred them across. So according to Spotify, the ones that I listen to are crime. Okay, you'll find a pattern in all of this. So the ones that I listen to are conspiracy theorists. People are gonna think I'm fucking crazy.
You are.
Conspiracy theorists, crimes of passion. That's fucking well good.
Yeah.
They Walk Among Us, UK True Crime podcast, Crime Junkie, Swindled, Swindled is actually really good. Countdown to Classic.
Yeah.
That's a World of Warcraft podcast. Criminal, Up and Vanished, The Truth is Out There Somewhere, a conspiracy theory podcast. Those conspiracy guys. The Crimes of Passion one, I would honestly recommend it to anyone. If I give you the description, every Wednesday we tell a love story that turns into a true crime story. Our subjects might start as lovers, friends, or family, but by the end, there's a criminal and a victim. Along the way, we analyse relationship dynamics, psychology that leads us to betrayal, theft, and even murder. Crimes of Passion. It's part of the podcast network. So it's about people who get together with other people and they kill people, and it's fucking insane. So some of the stories that they tell are you just sit there.
I mean, if you get murdered, it's most likely that you were murdered by somebody close to you.
Yeah. But for example, the one that the episode I need to catch up with, the tagline is, with no plans to leave his wife, 17-year-old Amy Fisher decided to take matters in her own hands. On May 19th, 1992, Fisher showed up at the Btk house, rang the doorbell and shot Mary Jo in the head.
Jesus. Some people are crazy. Just saying.
Well, the actual podcasts they're done so well, and that's what I really like. Like this podcast that we do, just kind of, it's something where you can listen to without having to listen to it. If you know what I mean. It's background noise, and I don't mind. So the podcasts that you listen to, like, how did you actually find them?
I want to listen something about Disney. I don't know why. I just really like Disney. And I just go on Spotify. Some came up. I listened to a bit of them, and I just found one till I liked it. And
how the fuck did you find those conspiracy guys? If you're not
a conspiracy, you told them about it.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Am I making you into a crazy person?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's possible. But yeah, you told me about it. I don't know which episode you told me about. But yeah, you mentioned it to me and I listened to. What's the first one that I listened to?
So you started listening to crazy people by crazy people.
Yeah.
And now you're turning into a crazy person.
So I haven't listened to tons of them. I listened to John Wayne Gacy, The Death of Bruce Lee. Oh, I think I started listening. I also listened to a little bit of the 27 Club, but that's 6 hours, and it's too much. Golden State Killer. I think it might have been Ted Bundy, the first one that I did.
You say 6 hours is long. I like them because especially.
I mean, like I think those would be for like a really, really long trip. Like if I'm flying somewhere that's longer, like, because like I'm flying to Portugal in 2 weeks. Yay! Yeah. But that's like a 2.5 hour flight. It's not like a really long flight.
I mean, do you know how I get through them?
Yeah.
It takes me about 45 minutes to get to work. When I get to work, I've got about an hour before the shop actually opens.
Yeah.
So that's almost 2 hours there. I've got an hour walk back. So about 45 minutes walk back. And when I get home, I'm sorting bits out. So I've still got my headphones in.
Yeah.
So I could finish a 6 hour podcast in 2 days without having to go out my way to listen to them.
Yeah.
But I can tell, if like for a lot of people, 6 hours podcast that's a week.
Yeah.
That is them listening to like half an hour a day.
Yeah. When I was like going to London, it'd be like, because depending on where I was going to in London, it'd be like an hour and a half. So the Disney ones inside the Disney Vault, I would go like listen to one on the way to London and like listen to another one on the way back.
And so how long are they? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours?
Like an hour and a half. They're not too long.
So why, like, your podcast listening habits, do they just change all the time?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Because I don't listen to. I'm not a huge podcast listener.
Yeah,
because I have nothing going on. But
well, if you were commuting every day, they are perfect.
Yeah.
If every day you're commuting to London, or if you're commuting to any other place every day, they are perfect. Which some people might be listening to this on their way to work.
I'm not sure how, but okay.
Rita might have bothered to put this up on a podcast app.
Maybe. We will.
Hold on.
I'm doing
Mitchell probably have got told to put it on a podcast app or something.
No, I'll do it. Which podcast app, though?
Actually, that's a question. What podcast app do you listen to for it? Is it just Spotify?
Yeah, I use Spotify. But we can't put it on Spotify, right? Can we? No.
So...
SoundCloud?
SoundCloud, yeah. So Spotify is one I listen to from. But
yeah, because I have Spotify Premium, no ads. I can download them if I have not a lot of data. It's just good. Easy.
On my old phone, because I haven't transferred it across yet, but on my old phone I had an app called Podcast Addict.
Okay.
And a lot of those were, you'd essentially take a link from a website.
Yeah.
That will host podcasts. A lot of them might not be on Spotify. You add them onto it, so then you've got a list of a constant RSS feed of all different podcasts. So you'd have really obscure, weird, psychology podcasts that very few people listen to, but they're amazing to listen to. So I added loads to there, and I think, including on Spotify, I think I've got about 23 podcasts I semi-regularly listen to. Far, I
knew that many.
I probably actually listen to podcasts more than I watch TV.
Okay.
Just because they're so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just one of those things where I think for a lot of people they are just background noise all the time, and I like it.
No, I do like background noise.
Until you start what I found just from my own listening habits. As soon as I leave the house, I've got headphones in, listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
When I don't listen to a podcast, I get really freaked out now. My brain has become attuned to always listen to voices, as in people speaking. And once I take the headphones out or pause it, there's a surreal silence.
No, yeah, it is a bit weird once you get used to either listening to music or podcasts on the way to somewhere, and then sometimes my earbuds die, and then wait, what do I do now?
Or you leave them.
When I'm just listening to.
Or you leave them in a
nature.
Wagamama. Or you leave your headphones.
Yeah, that
in a
happened
Wagamama.
once. I got them back. The waiter was very nice and is this yours?
You got them back. Yeah. But nowadays, for example, on the way here this morning.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was put my headphones in, listen to something.
Yeah, I always listen to something.
And I left the house.
Especially in public transport, you have to, otherwise you'll die of boredom.
Well, it's not even that. It's I left my house and I left my headphones in my bag. And I felt really strange, as in, anxiety strange. I need this.
It is, yeah, it's weird. It's something's missing.
I think it'd be good for people who've if you've got anxiety or if you suffer from social awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
Having music is great, but I think that kind of removes you too much.
Yes, in a way, yeah.
Whereas podcasts, I think they are perfect for if for example you go out and you are always anxious, put a podcast in, listen to something you want to listen to, but have it quiet enough to listen around you.
Yeah.
And you'll find that it makes your... It'll probably reduce your anxiety a lot. Unless you're listening to Rita.
What? Are
complaining about buying a stool.
Are you saying I'm not a calming person / voice?
Do I have to tune my cat?
Also, it's weird that there nowhere near where we are sells a foldable stool. So you can sit down, because again, I only have one chair in my flat. It's weird.
Who the fuck doesn't sell a foldable stool?
It's weird. I mean, come on.
All you want is that... Everyone knows what the foldable stool that I was thinking about in my head. It's a little thing that has
round top.
Kettle on top. No, with a little foldable legs that you could put away somewhere. And I think
doesn't take a lot of space. And if you have somebody over, you can just bring it up, and everyone's comfortable-ish.
It's someone. No. Well, you say comfortable. You mean everyone has somewhere to park their ass for a few hours.
Yes.
Sorry, for a few minutes, and then they get uncomfortable when they move.
Yes. But no, it doesn't exist apparently, unless you're at Argos and it's half a stool, half a table. Which why?
And apparently, if you're over like 12 stone, you're just gonna break. So, are we gonna make the folding chair podcast?
Yes, all about the science of folding chairs, the convenience of them,
the engineering that goes into making it.
I still think we should have gotten the camping one.
Who the fuck has a camping chair? Like, I can't move. Like, if I'm slouched in a camping chair, I'm sat back like that.
He had a cup holder.
I mean, you've got space on your desk now, which is a miracle. But you got space on your desk.
Tidy did it. I love it. Shut up. Stop it. Stop criticizing my organizing skills, my cleaning skills.
I'm not saying they're bad, but they're pretty terrible. Great.
What? They're amazing.
Have you not seen my organisation skills?
No. Yes, maybe.
You've seen how tidy my room is. That's because everything's organised. Everything has its place.
So everything has its place.
Yeah, packed away neatly in a drawer.
Well, I don't... Why? What's the point of drawers? Like, that's fine.
What's the point of drawers? Because you put shit in them. You don't buy a drawer. You don't buy a drawer and then put it next to the fucking drawer.
I have a shelf, like a cube thing unit.
You could
something.
You could buy another one that goes on top.
No, that's too much.
I mean,
that's fine. I mean, I have a champagne glass on top of my PS4.
You have a champagne glass on top of it?
Yes. It was from when I did the New Year's here, alone by myself. That
sounded so depressing. That sounded so bad.
No, I was talking with my family the whole night. It was fine. I actually liked it. I had shrimp for dinner.
To be fair,
all I ate was shrimp. Basically.
Looking out the window, A, it's raining, but B...
It's not raining anymore. No, it's raining. Never mind.
Was there fireworks?
What?
Was there fireworks?
Probably. There's fireworks every other week in London. I don't know why. I'm not in London.
Everyone's got something to celebrate.
No, seriously. Like, there's like fireworks every other week. It's weird. But there probably was, yeah. Yeah, it was great. I had shrimp.
So...
I had a little bottle of like French champagne. It cost me way too much. And I had rosé. I like rosé. It was Portuguese rosé too. So
that sounds very classy.
Very classy. And I just spent it with my family. I couldn't because I was working. I couldn't be in Portugal because I was working the weekend.
You had a job?
I had a job then.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man. And yeah.
To tie this back in, would you have listened to a podcast on New Year's? No, you probably wouldn't.
No, because I was talking with my family. If not, also no, because I'll probably be asleep.
Who the fuck sleeps on New Year's? Like, you have to make it a point to...
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Even going back...
I mean, New Year's is just like hang out with people you like, have a bit of alcohol, have good food, count down at midnight, and then it's over.
And then go to sleep.
Then it's the new year, like, it's January again.
It's like...
This happens every year.
New year, new me. Yeah, I'm going to make a load of plans.
Yeah, I'm going to work out.
I'm going to go to the gym.
I'm going to improve myself and whatever. And like the next day.
a week later. You've tried it for a few days. A week later,
then that's not worth it.
You're still a mess.
You're still a mess.
And you think, right, do you remember that store that I bought last year? That was only 2 weeks ago. Can I return it still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we returning this year immediately after? Caution clamps the hand.
I mean...
Careful.
I might hurt myself.
Sitting in a chair.
I mean...
Also, podcasts are basically radio. Just saying.
They're not. They are not.
How are they different? You listen to them. They're mainly audio media platform. I'm great with words.
A large difference between podcasting and live radio is the fact that live radio cannot be edited after it has been broadcast, whereas podcasts...
There are tons of podcasts that go live.
Podcasts are pre-recorded so they can easily adjust it after recording.
There are a lot of people that do podcasts live rather than pre-recorded. I mean, we do it pre-recorded.
Yeah, that's because we're lazy.
There are a lot of people that do live podcasts. But
yeah. And then do you know what happens? After they've been finished, after they finished it, they edit it and they export it and put it on Spotify.
Yes. I mean, radio, I don't know why they haven't put, podcast type of shows on radio. Rather than just music and,
they have.
people...
It's called audiobooks.
What?
It's called audiobooks, and...
No, there's people reading books.
Yeah, but then they've also got, discussion panels and things like that on radio, which are kind of like podcasts.
That's like news.
Yeah. Essentially...
It's not like Taylor, a crime... radio type of thing where all they do is talk about crime, true crime,
essentially,
and sometimes they put songs about crime which exists.
Yeah, but how are you gonna mass market a podcast about fucking crime? You can't put that on BBC Radio 2.
Well,
you can't have someone there saying, "Oh, by the way, 9/11 was a complete." You can't have a podcast that went out on BBC Radio 2 and say, "Oh, 9/11 was an inside job,"
and BBC was part of it.
Did you see that video I sent you?
I did, yes.
Tell me that isn't weird.
It is weird, but also it's probably just a mistake.
Stop it.
Have you never seen they say something and then a couple 20 minutes later, I'm sorry, my producer just told me what I've previously told you was not exactly true. Actually, it's still standing. Or actually, it's fallen already. Or actually, it never was on fire.
Actually, don't reference it because...
Right? I mean, I've seen that happen.
I know, but I just want to prove...
I mean, is it weird? Yes. Is it
impossible?
No.
Is it sat right fucking behind you and you can go, oh, yeah, that seems about right?
Well, she probably was focused on the script, on the script that she was reading.
Because 9/11 was scripted.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, I love how Tim was don't they fact check this? I'm like, no, it's live.
I mean,
they're getting tons of information every minute.
There probably was semi fact checking, as in
some CNN or whatever reported this. Let's just report it too, and then turns out no.
Yeah, if you know.
Also, they say it seems that it's fallen, or it's not concrete. They use words, so if they make a mistake, they can. Actually, we didn't.
Sorry, guys.
Say it.
Mistakes happen, you know.
Yeah.
But it's more to do with them covering up, not covering up as in covering their mistakes, essentially.
Yeah, because it's BBC, they don't want to be seen
Stop
making
breaking my illusion.
mistakes.
I just want.
Look.
We all know it was an inside job.
It was an inside job, clearly. But I don't think BBC was on it.
Oh yeah, no, they weren't. But
because
you should listen to those conspiracy guys on September 11th. This is the thing with some of the podcasts I listen to now. because I've been listening to them so many years, so some of the old original ones get Patreoned.
Yeah.
As in...
okay.
Subscribe, join us on Patreon if you want to listen to the first ones that we've ever done.
Yeah, if you want to access older ones.
Or they will release podcasts that are completely exclusive to Patreon, which...
I mean,
it makes sense. I don't say that's wrong in any way, shape, or form. Only the fact that you take your old ones and make them deliberately scarce. Make new ones and say, yeah, access these for...
I don't know. I know a lot of people use Patreon as early access rather than only access.
They just need extra selling points sometimes. Like, there's one YouTube series that I watched called Project Binky.
Okay.
It's about a mini.
Of course it is. How do you not listen to any podcasts about minis? Surely they exist.
They don't. I've looked. They've got
seriously?
They've got car podcasts that might do an episode about minis, but they don't have a podcast every week talking about, hey guys, look at this 10-inch wheels that have come out this week. No, they don't.
I mean, clearly that's untapped power for mini fans.
No, because then I'd end up having to speak about the new bullshit BMW minis, and they're really boring.
Wait, what? There's a BMW mini?
Yeah, do you know the mini you see every day?
Yes.
That's owned by BMW.
What?
Yeah.
But Mini is British.
Not
anymore.
Since the mid-90s, it's been owned by...
Has it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's been owned by BMW.
I'm super knowledgeable about cars.
So that's why it's quite ironic to have a BMW Mini with a Union flag on the roof saying I'm really British.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're owned by Germans. A lot of the design is German. However, they're still built in the UK.
Okay.
So, swings and roundabouts.
What is yours? What year is yours from?
94.
Was that a German already? No. It was before it was sold.
Built, designed, manufactured, shipped, sold, and always stayed in the UK.
Okay.
And that's why it's rotten. That's why they rot.
Yeah. I think you'd have like a 1960s Mini. I'm very disappointed that you don't.
I'm very disappointed I don't have 15k in my pocket to buy a Mini.
Well, just sell your
my whole life.
This Mini.
No,
how dare you?
The problem is that the original 60s Mark 1, Mark 2s, in the last 5-10 years, they've tripled in price.
Well, they're old and nice.
It's not that. Do you know why they've gone up in price?
They're rare?
That's one, but mainly it's because, do you know when the financial crisis happened? People realised that... The one in 2008.
Okay.
People realised they shouldn't be putting money into the bank because it's bad.
Yeah.
So they thought, why don't we put it in classic cars, which are only going to go up in value?
It was mainly American banks.
Yeah, but...
Actually, I don't know. I'm checking shit on my ass.
So they then going, okay, so I've got this money and I want something to invest in.
Yeah, so invest in cars.
You invest in old cars.
Yeah.
Make them scarce. And then all the cars that people want, the Mark 1 Minis, the E-Type Jaguars, the Aston Martins, they just tripled overnight.
Yeah.
Just went bam, straight up. So anyone that brought it beforehand, there was one car called the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth, made in the 80s. Up to 2005, you could have brought it for $4-5 grand. 75 now.
Jesus.
Just because people want them, so people pay.
Old cars are definitely investment, especially if you have time and money to repair them and
You don't even need the time and the money to repair them. You literally just have to buy them, put it in a garage, and wash them every couple of months. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not many podcasts about classic cars, which is really strange. I thought there would be, but saying that the majority of the people who, this isn't stereotyping, but this is just from my own experience, tend to be older. So podcasts aren't necessarily the biggest thing for.
Yeah.
Okay, boomers.
I don't get it. I do,
What, the
But,
OK
like,
Boomer thing?
I do, like seriously, come on.
I listened to a documentary. I watched a documentary the other
About
day.
OK Boomer.
No, it's not. I watched a documentary the other day about speedrunning on the James Bond game GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And they did a documentary about how people found out how to do it in the quickest time. And so they got to in the early 2000s, they realised, well, one guy realised if you took your camera and looked at the floor, the game sped up a little bit because the NES, was it the NES? Was it on the NES?
No, it was a Nintendo 64.
N64 struggled to play GoldenEye. So you'd get about 10, 15, 20 frames a second looking up. You'd get about 30 looking down.
Yeah. So
it speeds you up just by a bit.
Yeah, that's enough too.
So when the guy read the manual, you can already tell is a boomer. He read the manual.
What? Manual? They don't even come with manuals anymore.
And they put in there, it's like, something along the lines of, make sure you look down and haul ass. So he went, okay. He put his camera down. He got a world record. And then when they asked, he wrote in 6-year-old man speak. As in, no capitalisation.
Yeah.
Full stops in the wrong places. And commas where there shouldn't be one. And then he just went, he put a paragraph, and then at the bottom he said, and he said, and I just made sure I kept looking down, blah, 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 blah. People didn't even acknowledge him. And then someone asked again, a couple of months later, he said, just make sure you look down. And then people did, and they lost their fucking shit. Because they said, who is this guy? He was born in 47.
Hey, games are for every age.
So this boomer, came along and just destroyed everyone by...
Games are for every age. If you enjoy them.
I mean, Fortnite shouldn't be played by anyone below the age of 16 because you're obnoxious.
Fortnite shouldn't be played, period.
Fortnite is actually a fun game. It's just the community's fucking toxic.
We're not friends anymore. This is the end.
Hey guys, you want to play Fortnite? Let's do the floss. Hey guys.
I mean, apparently they stole all of the dances. Like other people. Which makes sense in a way.
Does it really? Well, I listened to... Do you know how I'd find out about people and games?
You listen to a podcast.
Hey, we came full circle. And talking about full circle, I also listen to a lot of Doctor Who podcasts.
Of course you do.
Which, some of them are really creative. Like, there was one podcast called The Doctor's Companion, where what they would do is, throughout the whole series, they would take, say, the first, second, and third Doctor, their first series episode, so they'll take An Unearthly Child, Power of the Daleks, and Spearhead from Space, which is each Doctor's very first story.
Yeah.
And they would talk about all three. And they would compare them.
Yeah.
And so as you went through, you'd end up like second Doctor's second episode, second series, episode 3, and they'll compare it.
Yeah.
And it's done really well. Most podcasts that talk about TV shows go, so next week we're talking about episode 1, series 2, and they'll do a review. Talking about that, have you ever seen the by minute shows?
Yeah.
It's called By Minutes. What they would do is they will break down a movie
by the minute.
So
that sounds exhausting.
So this one, they did the whole entire Cornetto trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World End, minute by minute, and each minute was about 45 minutes of analysis.
Yeah. So
it would be 5 days a week. I remember coming to uni and just be listening to podcasts every day about a scene where Sean walks into a shop, puts money on the counter, and leaves. They would analyse the whole minute, as in what shot, what even the titles. They were like, they went through the titles, credits, every scene, everything.
I mean,
It
that's
was
a bit much,
hundreds of episodes.
in my opinion, but if you're into that, why not?
It's really good. As in, they even did...
That's the thing that, like, again, I think
all the
podcasts
Back to the Future.
a kind of radio. Kind of.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that radio could never do, is focus on a very niche type of people that you know will like the stuff.
Yeah.
And you like the stuff, so why not cater to them?
It's great.
And do something very specific.
They did on Back to the Future, all three movies.
Yeah.
And they also, then it started a trend off where other people started copying. So they did one on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The whole fucking Lord of the Rings, including The Hobbit. Minute by minute. But this is what I love about podcasts, is they're so niche. They're so specific. And there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably people listening to this going, this is what I want. Two people, and sometimes three. Occasionally. Never. Who don't really know what they're talking about and are just blabbering on about shit. But It's great because I'm currently walking to... Name me a foreign shop.
What?
I don't want to bring it UK based. Give me a foreign shop name.
Continent.
Yes, they're walking to...
Continent.
And they're listening to us blabber on about...
Whatever.
The Ken Burton Show, which isn't made anymore.
We're so great.
We are terrible and amazing. So yeah, the reason why the episodes aren't as in depth and detailed at the moment is just because we're trying to catch up before we go Portugal. So next week we are going to be covering what topic?
I don't know. It's supposed to be Tim's week deciding.
So
but he's not here.
Tim's week
so
is
it's
next
probably
week.
Football.
Is it football?
No, it shouldn't be.
Is that even a topic that he even knows about? Is he going to get...
I mean, I guess he knows something about Swansea Football Club. He has shirts. That's about it.
I have a shirt with badges on it. I don't know about badges. I just know they're cute.
Next week, we're going to talk about the shirts of Swansea Football Club. I don't know.
So, next week we're going to talk about Swansea football shirts.
Yes.
Why
are you looking at my Joker poster? Stop it.
So, but yeah, once I know from Tim what he's doing next week, we shall decide.
Yes.
Until then, see you later.